Matthew from Den of Geek here. I am with Marshall Julius, professional geek. And Marshall, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome, very welcome.
So you're the man behind the Far Out Toys Pulp Hero series, is correct?
Well, I'm the man behind the social campaign for the Pulp Hero series.
Okay, the social campaign, all right, gotcha. So what can you tell us about the toys themselves?
Well, the Star Wars line are brand new out. They just came out Triple Force Friday. They're designed by Steve Casino, a buddy of mine who actually did the art for my book. They're very cute. They're made of paper mostly. They spring out of their, always backwards, they spring out of their cardboard cases. The cases are like vintage comic books. They roll like, oh yeah, it works. I think they always work. It folds down like this, very dinky. It goes in, that's what it does. That's what it does. That's what it does.
What's the full line of Star Wars characters that are available?
Well, let's have a look. So don't forget, we've got R2-D2, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, 3PO, Chewbacca, Boba Fett, Stormtrooper. No layer yet. There is going to be a layer. You kind of realize that I actually hadn't done any girls. So there's going to be a Captain Marvel and a layer, and a Thanos. Not a girl, obviously, but that's going to be early next year.
And you said, as you said, Steve helped you with some artwork. You have a book coming out.
I do,
and
as it happens.
Tell us a little about the book here.
So the book's called Vintage Geek, and I suppose it's like a deep dive into 20th century fandoms, all the things that I grew up obsessed with. So it's quite a tough quiz. It's for real fans, but if you don't know the answers, it's still, you can learn a lot. The way that it works is you can either read it as a question and then answers at the back, or the questions are also at the back, so you can read it like a trivia guide. So we have Doctor Who, but only Tom Baker. We have Star Trek, but only the 60s show. Star Wars, obviously, only the original trilogy. Lots of horror. I've got the Universal Monsters, got a chapter on John Carpenter, got a chapter on George Romero's Dead trilogy. Just lots of really great stuff. Also did the Atari 2600. We've got 2000 AD. We've got the Silver Age Marvel. You know, all the things that basically we love, all the things that we kind of, grew up on. It's all of this stuff, and cheeseburgers basically are the things that, that make me the man I am today. And it's really just kind of full of my love and affection for that, and all the trivia that I've amassed in my head, which is a tremendous amount.
So everything in the book comes from your head?
Yes, I mean, obviously I did a lot of research. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I just sat down one morning and I just wrote 1,000 questions without checking. It helps to know a fair bit, and the only thing that I can retain is facts and behind the scenes about films and TV and comic books, and to a lesser extent video games. I don't know anything about whatever real world is. I'm just very glad that I managed to put everything that I do know into a book. But yeah, a lot of research.
What would you say is, well, I guess we don't want to give away the hardest question. What would you say, what is the most difficult questions in here?
I think that the Doctor Who chapter is particularly difficult. I mean, I grew up, at the time when Tom Baker was the Doctor, and he was the Doctor for the longest, and I absolutely adored him. But I didn't really watch much Doctor Who after that. Nobody could really compare to him. But I did a very, very deep dive into Tom Baker Doctor Who trivia, and I gave it to a friend of mine, Jonathan, who he knows a lot about Doctor Who, and it completely threw him. He said it was really interesting. So I think that's very difficult. Also, it's like anything. If you know the answer, it's not that difficult. If you're obsessed with Star Wars, then you're probably going to do really well with the Star Wars chapter. Ditto Star Trek. I've got a chapter on the first 10 years of The Simpsons, and in fact, Simpsons showrunner Mike Reiss gave me. He wrote the foreword for it. Yeah. He talked about meeting me and my wife and how he doesn't understand because she's so beautiful, and he said that I look like I'm made of meringue, and he said he called me a nearsighted Jewish snowman, and this is in the foreword for my book, and he's talking about how he's plotting to kill me. And anyway, I caught up with him the other day, and he said that he doesn't actually want his wife to read the foreword of the book now that he wrote, because it's quite racy. I got to say, it's quite racy.
Do you feel that everything you have in you is in here, or is they're set up for you have enough for another one?
I would love to do another one, but I think that I drove my family crazy. I mean, it's been something that I've been pitching for a long time, and everybody said, Marshall, nobody reads books anymore. It's like, oh, come on, people definitely read books anymore. But there was this idea that everything had to be digital, and we had to wait for it to kind of come around. Now, of course, you can get vinyl. Everybody understands that there's a kind of tactile thing. You just want to own it. You can't pick up a Kindle, smell the Kindle like, oh, that's amazing. That really takes me back to when I last smelled, plastic. It's just not the same. So through my Twitter, I was able to, kind of make it happen. I've completely forgotten your original question, but I know it was amazing.
It was about how handsome we both look. So yeah.
Fabulous, obviously.
Marshall, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.